Good morning, well, afternoon, and evening for some of you, the Asian cities.
Buenos días, buenas tardes, bienvenidos a la tercera reunión del
I'll just like to remind you that simultaneous interpretation is available in French, English, and Spanish. You can activate it via the globe icon on your screen or clicking in the three dots at the bottom of the Zoom. Then you just need to select your language. Antes de empezar, nada más para recordarles que tenemos interpretación simultánea disponible en francés, inglés y español. Pueden activarla mediante el icono del globo o haciendo clic en los tres puntos situados en la parte inferior de la pantalla del Zoom y solo selecciona su idioma. L'interprétation simultanée est disponible en français, anglais et espagnol. Vous pouvez l'activer via l'icône du globe en cliquant sur les trois points en bas de votre écran et après ça, juste sélectionnez votre langue. Well, welcome again to the third episode of the NPU Connect. As a reminder, this is a monthly get-together to discuss the progress of activities dedicated to the development of the OWC's new urban project, known by the acronym of NPU, NUP. The aim of this meeting is not only to inform you, but also to explain interest and, of course, mobilize you around the five activities for the development of the new urban project. By logging on and keeping up to date with the NPU activities, we consider that you are effectively participating in the process and in any case preparing for the adoption of the NPU scheduled for the organization's next World Congress in Marrakesh in autumn in 2026. Of course, what we hope is that you will actively participate in the collective writing of the NPU, which is one of the main objectives of the 2025 and 2026 action plan adopted by the General Assembly in Córdoba in September 2024. And already, I'd like to make an important reminder, or for those joining us for the first time and wondering what it will be, this famous new urban project. What it will offer member cities is a set of proposals for designing and implementing heritage-led local strategies to regenerate the habitability of historic city centers. In the first two NPU Connect episodes, which you can find online, by the way, we presented in detail the two programs that are being implemented, the Quebec Roadmap and the Córdoba Path, and their 5 activities that will help build the new urban project. For this third NPU Connect event, we'll be taking stock of what has been achieved over the past few weeks and reviewing the calendar of upcoming activities. I remind you that recordings of each episode are available on our YouTube channel, and they are also shared via our mailers following each episode, so you can watch them anytime you like. At any time during the episode, feel free to ask us your questions in the chat via the icon below in your screen or raising your hand during the questions period. I'm here today with my colleagues Andréane Charest, Deputy Secretary General of the OWC, and Émilie Gourmand, Urban Heritage Projects Officer, and we're here to answer all of your questions, so just don't be shy. What happened in April? As part of the Quebec Roadmap, here's where we stand. As a reminder, the first meeting of the Community of Practice was held in Évora in March, from which emerged a report containing 5 transversal objectives and about 30 solutions. You have on the screen the objectives formulated in Évora, which are therefore to be considered as the new working basis, and all the OWC member cities are expected to express their views on them through the numerous activities organized within the framework of the roadmap and the Córdoba Path. These are the 5 objectives, which you can see in the screen: transforming historic city centers into laboratories for urban innovation, establishing permanent transversal governance, involving residents in the co-construction of urban projects, maintaining population and attracting new residents, rethinking public rights of way, and developing existing public spaces. In addition to the mandate given to the Community of Practice and in response to the expectations expressed by the elected representatives in terms of operational and concrete approaches, a collection of best practices aligned with the objectives and solutions defined in NEBORA, was launched in April 2022. This collection is scheduled to run until July 31st of this year via an online Google form, which is designed to be simple or at least easy to fill in, available, of course, in the 3 working languages, French, English, and Spanish. The best practices collected will feed into the work of the focus group projects and as such will be incorporated in the operational framework of the new urban project. If you have any questions, please let us know. That's what the NPU Connect is for. So I'll open the floor for questions at this moment. No questions? Okay. Well, I'm glad it has been clear. So I'll continue forward.
There's a question from Anne-Laure, I think. No, or you're just happy, Anne-Laure?
Oui, bah, je fais un coucou, mais j'ai aussi une question en fait, mais qui est en lien indirect. J'étais à la recherche ce matin en ligne de la présentation de Josep Boïgars. Et je ne sais pas si on l'a sur le site de l'OVPM, cette présentation du projet global de Barcelone.
Écoute, je vais rechercher sur... Excuse-moi, Alice. Je vais rechercher si on l'avait publié, parce qu'il me semble qu'on a publié tous les enregistrements des différentes sessions du congrès. Je vais le rechercher, puis je vais te l'envoyer par courriel.
Super, parce que je reprends aussi un peu des archives pour capitaliser. Voilà, merci.
Par contre, excuse-moi, juste une précision. J'aurai l'enregistrement, mais pas son PowerPoint.
Ok, j'ai compris.
Il ne l'a pas partagé.
Any other questions? No? Okay. So we'll proceed to talk about the activities calendar. So what is coming next? The collaborative networks, which is the first activity of the Quebec roadmap. We have the action plan for the 13th collaborative network proposed by Warsaw on adapting heritage buildings to climate change. It will soon be made public with an initial proposal to hold their first meeting scheduled in June 11th. We already had expressions of interest from the cities of Vilnius, Visby, and Banska Styawinska. Apologize for my pronunciation. They have already expressed their interest to join the network, and all other member cities are still encouraged to apply by emailing us at the Secretariat email address. The collaborative network on the priority thematic on protecting and strengthening the residential functions of historic city centers, led by the city of Brussels, Belgium, will relaunch its activities with the first meeting scheduled now on June 6th. As a reminder, the activities of the collaborative networks continue the work that has been developed within the network since 2023. 7 of these collaborative networks remain active, involving approximately 32 member cities in thematic discussions. They give cities the opportunity to share their experience and work together differently. Their objective, with a view to the new urban project, is to collectively produce shared statements and courses of action in line with the thematics addressed. You can see all upcoming activities in the calendar in our website and also on the screen. The second activity of the Quebec roadmap are the city labs. I apologize. The first activity of the Cordoba path is the city labs. So we have 2 potential upcoming city labs. The first one will be held in Cordoba on the topic of heritage narratives and urban regeneration from the point of view that cities hold multiple narratives within diverse heritage communities, being these neglected or not, and that is a resource for resilience and robustness. The topic will be treated through 3 working hypotheses. So respecting the diversity of narratives, heritage, and communities allows us to reopen our imagination and produce the political audacity that drives urban transformation. Second one, converging narratives by enhancing heritage as a resource can be activated by society, generates operational power in the face of crisis. And lastly, sharing responsibility for our heritage enables us to act together, civil society and institutions, and provides the legitimacy we need to start thinking about the cities, its development, and its attractiveness. It is scheduled to be held in June 9th and 10th, and currently over 5 cities have confirmed their participation into this city lab. The second one is scheduled to be held in Amsterdam on the topic of balanced tourism with a specific angle that's still yet to be defined. It should be held, or it's foreseen to be held in September 17th and 19th of this year in cooperation with the Alliance of Balanced Tourism, an alliance created by Amsterdam, a group of cities, heritage organizations, and others. Let me remind you that City Labs are punctual workshops that enable the development of specific topics not previously addressed through the collaborative networks. They provide answers that will enrich the consensus of the new urban project. Another activity of the Cordoba Path is the focus groups. The first meeting of the focus group strategy will take place in Krakow in June 11th and 12th of this year, and will focus on the strategic framework of the new urban project in order to define the key elements and characteristics of a global strategy that will support a new generation of structuring urban projects. The case study to be discussed is the master plan for the development of new creative district of Wesoła in Krakow, which is currently being finalized. The call for expressions of interest is still open until next Monday, May 12th. If you haven't received our newsletters on this subject, or you lost it in your inbox, please consult the news section in our website so you can find how you can apply. The focus groups are tasked with synthesizing and structuring the chapters of the new urban projects based on contributions from all the other activities of the roadmap and the Quebec path, the Cordoba path, the collaborative networks, City Labs, Accelerator, and the communities of practice. Furthermore, we have the activity of the Accelerator. The selection process for the Accelerator by our partners, the Cultural Heritage Finance Alliance, CHIFA, is now complete. We are pleased to announce that the cities selected for this Accelerator are Baeza in Spain, Cuenca in Ecuador, Lamu, Kenya, Luxembourg in Luxembourg, Tunis in Tunisia. A sixth city, Bordeaux in France, will join them as a resource city to showcase the successful urban transformation it has implemented in the 21st century while pursuing its own citywide greening project. Designed as an intensive 9-month program, the Accelerator will offer selected cities tailor-made support to develop pilot projects and build an innovative financing strategy. Finally, we'd like to introduce you a new initiative, which is not a program or an activity itself, but rather an additional offer available to the cities. It's an offer that multiplied the opportunity to contact cities and mobilize them in the new urban project, which we have called NPU Flash. The General Secretariat's main task is to get out and about and meet the cities and present the NPU's activities to as many local stakeholders as possible, whether elected representatives or experts, and to do so in a fairly quickly manner, in just a few hours or even half a day. Hence, that's why we call it Flash. The main aim of these NPU flashes is to inform cities, especially those with little or no involvement in the process so far, about the activities underway in hopes of getting them interested and mobilized in the co-construction of the new urban project. In this way, they will be able to arrive at the 19th World Congress in Marrakesh already equipped and ready to commit to a process they have already made their own. the OWC has begun a special effort to bring more Latin American, African, and Asian cities into these 5 activities for the elaboration of the new urban project. In Latin America, we are preparing a series of exciting activities that so far include an NPU Flash that will take place in central Mexico at the end of June, a City Lab that will take place in La Habana, Cuba, at the end of July, which will implicate several Caribbean cities, several Caribbean member cities. There's a potential second meeting of the focus group that may be foreseen in Puebla during the fall, as well as another City Lab in Cuenca, Ecuador, may be organized at the end of the year, beginning of next year. In Africa and Asia, other opportunities are being explored and some NPU Flash meetings are being proposed. These short, dynamic meetings shall bring together nearby cities to create opportunities for them to share their expertise, connect with others, and mobilize them to join and contribute to the elaboration of the new urban project. So that's a lot of information. I will open the floor again for questions. Do I see any hands?
I do personally have a comment regarding the Flash. I know that you who are connected today are cities that are really involved in our activities. So the Flashes are not really something that you might be interested in because you already know more or less what we are doing as part of the New Urban Project and as part of our activities. However, and I'm seeing here today that Marcin is connected and Monica is connected, and you are regional coordinators. And you might know some cities as part of your regional secretariats that are not really involved actually in the New Urban Project. And so if you might think of cities that could benefit maybe from those Flash, from those little meetings that we could organize. And those Flashes, we have been thinking about them to visit individually some cities, but we could also potentially think about clusters of cities, maybe 2-3 cities who are geographically close. That's what Leticia will do in Mexico. Actually, she's going to visit 4 or 5 central Mexican cities that are really close, like maybe 1 hour. She's going to visit them individually, but we also have been thinking of reuniting them in one city, which is very close, which is not requesting the cities to, travel a long way. So maybe if you think as a member city who has fellow other member cities not so far from yours, or you as a regional secretariat, you think that some of your cities could be interested in knowing a little bit more about the New Urban Project, or just, maybe you could mobilize them in this half a day or 1 day meeting. We are welcome to travel, because as we're going to travel for the regional meetings, we're going to travel for some workshops. So for us, it's not much to just hop and go to another city to do these 1 day, half a day or 1 day meetings. So, and these are I think a very good way to mobilize those cities that we never hear about. There's a cluster of cities that are always mobilized in our activities, but others we never hear about. So I think that if you're willing to play the game and maybe help us interest other cities, that could be a very good help to us, actually. Some of them might not be interested, and it's fine. There's absolutely no problem. We cannot interest 100% of our cities, but if you think about some, maybe that could be a good help to us.
Thank you, Andrea. I see Monica, you have a question?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, of course, I think it's a good idea to really get the interest from our member cities and maybe cluster them in language groups so that we do not need the translation thing. That would be really helpful. I could think of a bunch of cities in Germany that we could cluster, but then we have to think about, I have to see if we can find the group being completely able to follow it in English then. So that might be possible. Do you think it's also just an idea to have an online meeting, to do it like a little bit like a webinar, or do you really intend to have it on site?
We have been thinking about doing it also online, actually, maybe a pre-meeting online. If we see it's too difficult to explain it online, we could do a second meeting in person. We could try it online. We have not done it online yet, but we foresee doing one online now with some of the, maybe with the Caribbean cities or with the Mexican cities. So we could give you an input about how it's going. But if you want, we could also be willing to try and do it with English German interpretation if you want, if you think it could be.
Yeah, we could think about that. If we then organize that, that would be an idea. We have to think about a location, but I think I will first start to check with the cities of our area that are not yet tied to the whole process, because that's the focus we want to have for the flash. Yeah.
And maybe try to think about not too much, maybe like 3 cities. So let's try to keep it small so that it's convivial and that we can really have a discussion, because when there's a lot of cities, it's a little bit harder to to have a big, especially if we need to put interpretation in that.
No discussion with interpretation.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. I think Mafe has a...
Hola, buenos días. Pues igual solamente decir que me parece una excelente idea y como secretaria yo lo puedo platicar con Gaspar para ver también contigo, Andrea, o con Leticia, ver qué ciudades pueden ser la mejor opción y cuál podrá estar más cerca, si podemos encontrar un punto de reunión entre las ciudades que ustedes creen que sean un buen punto y pues a ver qué podemos hacerlo en alianza y que lo que se ofrezca aquí estamos. Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias. Leticia te dirá qué ciudades ella ya está viendo para visitar con Berenice, que la está apoyando, que hemos contratado como experta externa, pero hay muchas otras ciudades que estén cerca y no solo en México. Entonces, muchas gracias por tu apoyo, será de mucha ayuda.
No, a ustedes, gracias.
Alors.
Je voulais juste partager avec vous qu'à propos de cette mobilisation des villes, dans la semaine, nous avons eu la réunion de la commission internationale de notre association française des biens du patrimoine mondial. En France, il y a une association qui regroupe l'ensemble des biens, qu'ils soient urbains, naturels, culturels, etc., et qui ont des relations avec le ministère. Et puis, on travaille par commission thématique, communication, relations internationales, développement durable, etc. Donc, dans ce cadre-là, j'étais amenée à parler de nos activités, puisque l'objectif, c'est de partager ce que font chacune des collectivités ou des biens à l'international. Et nos activités intéressent donc des membres qui ne sont pas nécessairement des membres de notre organisation. Donc ma question, c'était plutôt également un peu à double tranchant, parce qu'il y a certains membres qui sont des villes et qui ont quitté l'OVPM, d'autres qui sont des villes et qui n'ont jamais été membres, et d'autres villes qui peuvent être intéressées par nos résultats. Donc en fait, on commençait à se demander comment on pouvait peut-être organiser des points de contact pour que les résultats de notre travail, eh bien, ils soient partagés avec d'autres types de réseaux qui sont intéressés par les mêmes questionnements. J'ai également rencontré la personne qui dirige aujourd'hui une association française qui s'appelle Cité remarquable de France et qui réunit toutes les villes à secteur sauvegardé et espaces protégés. Donc en fait, il y a des tout petits et des beaucoup plus grands. C'est ça qui est intéressant. Et avec elle, on a plutôt aussi parlé de quelles activités, dans quel type de réseau du patrimoine et comment on pouvait éventuellement à un moment donné être capable de dresser finalement une sorte de carte mentale de quel sujet était adressé comment, quels étaient du coup les nœuds et les points de contact justement entre nos différentes activités. Et dernier point qui revient à la première réunion, donc plutôt de la BFPM, il y a eu en Espagne le mois dernier la réunion des gestionnaires du patrimoine mondial. Et donc notre délégué général de cette association des biens français, Chloé Campo, y a participé. Elle a participé au groupe de travail sur la communication. Et, euh, et donc, c'est pareil, c'est une activité qui est, voilà, qui est intéressante à connaître, à situer. Voilà. Et par ailleurs, donc, Chloé a intérêt à organiser une nouvelle rencontre de gestionnaires du patrimoine mondial en France, à Tours, en 2027. Voilà. Donc, tout ça, c'est un peu brouillon, mais c'est aussi ce qui émerge finalement, voilà, des petites ficelles aussi à tirer pour après, indépendamment du fait que là, on est ensemble pour essayer de construire notre fameux projet urbain et finalement tout ce qui fait le fond de notre discours collectif. Mais en fait, ça commence à intéresser d'autres structures, voilà, qui s'y retrouvent en fait quand on en parle un peu. Donc voilà, c'est intéressant. Merci.
C'est vraiment intéressant. Puis, on est en train de commencer à avoir la discussion justement avec Michael. On a rencontré Mélissa Coulombe-le-Duc la semaine passée, l'élu pour le patrimoine à Québec. Vous vous rappelez d'elle? Puis, on commence justement à parler de discours adaptés, de communication sur justement comment parler de notre nouveau projet urbain parce que présentement, quand on en parle surtout au niveau des experts, de vous en fait, de vous qui participez à nos activités. Et on se rend compte que notre discours est plus ou moins encore adapté pour le niveau politique, par exemple, le niveau des maires. Donc, et notre discours est encore moins adapté pour en parler au niveau des organisations partenaires avec lesquelles éventuellement on voudrait peut-être avoir des partenariats pour diffuser ce nouveau projet urbain, collaborer sur ce nouveau projet urbain. Donc, il faut travailler sur ce point, mais en même temps, comme on est en train de co-construire ce nouveau projet urbain, c'est difficile de savoir exactement comment en parler. Mais justement, on commence à travailler sur ce sujet-là et on ne l'a pas annoncé aujourd'hui dans ce NPU, mais bon, puisqu'on en parle, je vais le dire. On a une idée avec Mélissa que le groupe focus sur le narratif, justement, de ce nouveau projet urbain-là soit développé par les élus, par le politique. Donc, Mélissa a en fait eu l'envie et le goût de prendre les rênes de ce groupe Focus. Et je pense que dans les prochaines semaines, elle va contacter quelques élus, donc probablement Monsieur Jean-Jean. Je te le dis en primeur. On sait qu'ils sont très amis. Donc, elle va contacter quelques élus pour essayer de prendre justement les rênes de ce groupe Focus-là pour que justement nous, on appelle ça le pitch politique. Donc, vraiment, comment bien vendre de nouveaux projets urbains au niveau politique, qui nous servira probablement éventuellement aussi pour savoir comment bien parler avec d'autres organisations partenaires, éventuellement partenaires, parce qu'elles ne sont pas partenaires. Je dis partenaires, mais elles ne le sont pas encore. Donc voilà, mais comme tu dis, ça intéresse les autres. Donc, je trouve ça vraiment bien d'en parler, je trouve ça bien de l'entendre de l'entendre à Nord. Donc, il faut que chacun s'approprie ce discours-là, mais nous, il faut qu'on donne aussi des outils à nos membres pour qu'ils sachent comment en parler. Donc, c'est ça qu'il faut qu'on développe dans les prochains mois, en fait.
Très bien, merci, merci.
Merci à toi. Laetitia a disparu de l'écran. She's back.
C'est juste pour pas avoir ma tête en fluctuant à l'écran.
Autre question?
Non. Bon, avec cette sorry, I'll go back to English. With this very interesting discussion, I will go then to conclude our NPU Connect. You will see in the screen a barometer where we have all of the number of different activities that are still ongoing at this moment. We hope you have found the information provided at this 30 meeting useful. We are always keen to hear your comments so that we can improve these meetings and make them even more effective, interesting, and essential to the cohesion of the network of cities actively involved in the action plan of this year and next, as well as the others who will see that OWC is evolving. We hope that today's information will give you strong arguments to explain to your colleagues and elected representatives the benefits of what's on the way, and that you will be able, if necessary, to convince your authorities that this is the ideal time for your cities to take part in these activities. We invite you to stay tuned to our newsletters and our social media for any announcements concerning these activities. On our website, you'll find all the reference documents. So far, we have one on the New Urban Project, one on the Quebec Roadmap and its activities, and one on the Cordoba Path and its activities. They've been structured in a straightforward way, so we urge you to refer to them when speaking with your elected representatives. On the website, you'll also find the Cordoba Symposium report and the Évora report. But I'd like to tell you that the best resource is still us, our team from the General Secretariat. So don't hesitate to contact us. We're here to support you in all of your activities. And lastly, we invite you to continue to join us in this monthly OWC meeting every first Thursday of the month to follow closely the progress of work and opportunities for member cities to get involved in the development of the New Urban Project. We look forward in seeing you on next Thursday, June 5th at the same time. That's all for today. You'll soon receive the link to watch the episode at any time, so feel free to spread the word to the other cities. Thanks again, and see you soon in the next NPU Connect. Have a great day.
Thank you.